This is Mike Andrews. I work with Heartland's Conservancy. Uh, and here is Mark Rosen with the City of Highland and Ryan Hummer with the City of Highland. And we did some planning over a year and a half, 2 years ago in the watershed. What we did is receive 319 money from EPA and partnered with the City of Highland to put practices in the watershed. And one of the things we looked at was ways to catch sediment around the lake. And we came up with this site, which is twofold. It's a pond that's designed to trap 90% of the sediment. And also, as a secondary benefit, it's going to be used to dewater, to put fish in and raise small fish throughout the summer and release them in the fall, or wait till spring to help the fishing in the lake. And then behind me on my right side is a wetland that we also had as a part of the plan. This is a concrete structure that is going to be used to capture the fish when they start coming out of the pipe. I know Mark has had some experience with the fisheries person, and I don't know if you have anything you want to add to your parts of the program with the two guys, because we couldn't have done it without your help.
Yeah, we're going to work with the Illinois Department of Natural Resources with Fred Cronin. He's the fisheries biologist, so we'll work with him on what fish to stock, when to do the stocking in the main part of Silver Lake, and what practices to implement as far as the fish go. Mark can elaborate a little bit on what we did as far as we added a rock chute for the wetland overflow, which is going to be really cool aesthetically to the lake, as well as to the visitors.
Yeah, and from my standpoint, about 20 years ago, we realized the importance of the value of our water supply, and at the time, our Silver Lake Commission put together priorities of what we need to be addressing. Water quality was the first concern, followed by aesthetics, habitat, and a few other things, heritage, all the way down to heritage. So I kind of view this project as being able to touch on every one of those aspects of our priorities. From the water quality is the most evident, all the way down to heritage, where we've unearthed some magnificent boulders, incorporating them back into the structure, and letting people kind of appreciate the beauty of those boulders. So it's touching all of the aspects of our priority plan. The portion of the heritage portion of the management goals that we set forth. Another aspect is obviously the recreation is very important to us in Highland Parks and Rec. But yeah, we were very fortunate in a way to be able to unearth these boulders. I don't know how old they are, but they're considerably old, and we kind of designed it to where it's basically a spillway structure with our wing walls, and during heavy rain events, it's probably going to be the premier place to come and get photos. So we've also been able to use similar boulders at another location in the park. So in a sense, it all ties together and just enhances the aesthetics and everything.
Okay, where we're at now is down at the lower end of the chute and the rock feature. And you can see how it's going to cascade down. And I'm not sure if we said it earlier, but what we did between the voids is actually had the cement plant mix a grout to match the stone, and did a wonderful job with that. But we'll finish out this side with stone at least 2 feet up on height, shape the bank back, and then get it seated. But the whole idea of this is for storm flow, and if you can see in the background, there's a tractor with a couple pull scrapers behind it. That's the emergency overflow for the pond that was in the video earlier. And they can manage the water level in the pond to make it go down that spillway, which will be sodded or seeded, and fill the wetland and run it back through here if they want to provide water to get it to flow. Another thing they've explored is maybe a pump, to put a pump in here and cycle it through and have a continuous flow of water, just to have something that's be aesthetic for the people that use.
So this is another perspective of the rock chute waterfall that we were looking at from down there. Basically the wetland area, the pond, the wetland area this will be the overflow. So we'll have constant flow of water draining over the rocks and into the main lake. A cool feature that we added is basically we have a nature trail that we've had for years at Silver Lake that goes all the way to Interstate 70 and makes a loop and comes back to the park. You'll be able to traverse right across the rocks. There'll be a step here. You'll step down onto the main rock that I'm standing on, step up, and then actually go right onto the trail, which is about 5 miles there and back. So it'll be another cool feature for the park for our guests to enjoy, and ought to turn out really cool.
All right. Well, we're looking at a very small portion of Silver Lake. Silver Lake's about 550 acres. It was built in 1962, and basically it was built as a result of a drought Highland and the area suffered through the 1954-1955 when our old city lake dried up. So the mayor at that time, L.G. Beard, said that it was imperative for the city of Highland to have sustainable water for our community. So through a lot of aches and pains and trips to Springfield, we were able to get Silver Lake built, and it's been the water supply for Highland and surrounding areas since 1962.
Okay, again, we moved up on top of the dam. Where I'm standing is actually a little bench area, about 10 feet, that's just above the fish catch basin structure we looked at. And this is going to be incorporated as part of their trail system, though. People will be able to come in through here and use this as a trail. Up the slope is the dam that the gentlemen are standing on, which still needs to be raised another 6 feet to get it to the elevation to store the water we're looking for. In the background, you see, of course, the track hoe and some gentlemen from Hunchy's Construction out of Highland and Hunchy Excavation. And they're putting in a 12-inch pipe, which is the white section that's going through the ditch. And the little black things you see that are around it are anti-seep collars. Those are to stop water from seeping along the pipe once it gets full of water. And then what they're putting is the integral part of it, which is an Agri-Drain brand of, it's a stop log structure. And what it is, it's 14 foot tall, and it's got 20-inch wide PVC little boards that are about a half an inch thick that slide up and down, and there's a couple dozen or so in it. And what they do is, if they want to manage the water level, they just take this hook device and lift and grab the boards and lift them up. And what the goal is the fish apparently wait till the very end when a pond is drained before they come out the pipe to the catch basin. So what we're looking at doing is these gentlemen Mark will probably come in here and take out some of the boards, maybe get within 3 or 4 feet of the bottom of the pipe and lift that board up, and the water goes through and drains out. And then once the lake gets drawn down to that elevation of that stop log, which is be 3 feet deep, then the biologists and whoever wants to catch a fish, then they can go in and pull the boards off, let the fish come out, and then they don't have to wait for a day or two for it to drain. It'll be ready to go within a matter of an hour or so, and then they do their thing on collecting the data and what they need to do before they introduce them into the lake. So what we have to do yet is get another collar on, extend a pipe past the track hoe into the lake, and then backfill all this with soil, and again raise the dam 6 more feet, and it'll be finished.
I'm Tyler Burke with Highlands Conservancy, project manager. Been working on watershed projects with the city of Highland, and one of our big projects is a wetland and pond creation that we've done to help prevent sediment from entering their lake and help their fish stock. Next to me is Mark Rosen with the city of Highland.
I'm Mark Rosen, Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Highland. We partnered with Highland Conservancy to do a fantastic project, one of many, right here at the trail entrance to Silver Lake Park. And we're excited to show it off and invite people out and take a walk around. So this is the fish rearing pond for stocking fish, also the sediment basin for holding the silt back. Right now we've got quite a few minnows in it to let them get ready to be eaten by the bass that are going to be put in as a food source. In a few weeks we'll be getting the bass put in, and October we flush them out into the large lake. We are working with the Department of Fisheries they'll come out and catch them in a spillway portion. They'll use a little bit of evaluation on the fish They may even put a tracking device in a couple of them and be able to, create their habits. I guess I don't know exactly the reason, but it's pretty much ready to go. So it's about 1 acre.
And there's also an additional project you might be able to see at the far end where the water enters the lake. A ripple pool complex will be installed to help catch additional sediment before it comes to the lake to ensure that the capacity of this new pond is still will be maintained and keep with a good health of the water, good water quality.
We also intend to work with an Eagle Scout. They'll be putting in a couple of footbridges and create a little path around here, maybe a small little gazebo off on the behind me, and just draw people's attention to it so that they get a better understanding of the importance our erosion projects are doing.
All right.
This is the spillway or catch basin for the fish. If you notice, we've got a few areas here that we'll put boards in and grab the fish in here, and this is where the fish biologist can do his work and count the fish or whatever he does. So and it's also able to, like Tyler said, lower the lake if we need to do some structures for fish habitat, things like that. So so we did add a little erosion control around it, and also part of this erosion was introducing some grass seeds that will have a little bit deeper root system. It's a blend of rye and fescue and bluegrass, so I'm not specific on that, but it's all working together.
So off to my left here is an additional project that was created using the 319 funding. That was a partnership between the Illinois EPA, Highland Conservancy, and the city of Highland. We created another sediment catch basin that's acting as a wetland habitat. Again, it catches roughly 90% of the sediment before it enters Silver Lake, and it has, as you'll see here in a little bit, they uncovered some large stone as used as a waterfall as well to allow the wetland to drain into the lake, preventing sediment from entering. So it's a very nice aquatic habitat for different species that are native to this area.
This is the spillway that Tyler had talked about. We're using the boulders that we found in creating a waterfall spillway for the lake. We did purchase this slab for a bridge. We thought that it would be good to have it be able to access a little bit more of the trail to the near basin. And it turned out fantastic.
The natural stone's being held in place by a mortar mix, but as you can see that the mix was added in so well that you can barely even see it. It just has a very incredible natural feel for this wetland habitat. We're at the entrance to about a 4-mile out and back trail that leads right across the waterfall that we were at before. The city of Highland and this park, the Silver Lake Park, it's incredible. The partnership that Highland's Conservancy and the city of Highland's had to implement some of these projects has been amazing. They have incredible leadership at the city of Highland, and through the 319 grant, we were able to get a lot of these projects done that you have seen, and a lot more throughout the watershed as well. And we're currently working on the watershed plan to help an update to the plan to help gather additional knowledge and additional funding for this incredible area.
Yeah, we can't thank Heartland Conservancy enough for their leadership and guidance in doing not just this project, but the many projects we've done already in the watershed. We encourage everybody to come out and use the trail, the whole park. We have disc golfing, picnicking, and arboretum at the park, fishing, and a lot of different things. We also allow watercraft, so we have kayaking and paddle boards are allowed. So we encourage everybody to check out our website and come visit us.